choose whether or not they want to be a part of a union and whether or not they went up to $1,000 taking
How
out
much
of
money
union.
does it save, Governor? Just
that particular part doesn't save any.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight. Wisconsin's governor facing some tough questions from lawmakers today in the nation's capital.
The governor testifying to a congressional committee. The topic, government debt. The governor trying to explain the changes he's pushing for Wisconsin, specifically the disputed law he signed, which takes away most collective bargaining rights for most public employees. Fox 11's Becky DeVries has our balanced coverage tonight.
Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker and Vermont Governor Peter Shumlin both vowed to tell the truth. Two governors with two different ideas about government budgets.
This ultimately is good for the economy in our state as well, because in the end, investors want to look at a state where the state and local government is stable.
You can get this job done, you can balance your budget, you can create jobs in your state without taking on the basic right of collective bargaining.
Ohio Representative Dennis Kucinich asked the governor about the savings resulting from part of his plan, which requires unions to hold annual votes to continue representing membership.
And whether or not they went up to $1,000 taking out of union.
How much money does it save, Governor? Just
that particular part doesn't save any.
Okay,
in
that's
the same way that
that's
if you
the point. It
read the
obviously
federal
has
budget,
no effect whatsoever.
I'll answer your
I'm
question.
reclaiming my time. It obviously had no effect whatsoever on the state budget.
Virginia's Representative Jerry Connolly asked the governor if he explicitly campaigned on the issue of collective bargaining. The governor said he talked about a broad spectrum of issues.
You might concede that some might be surprised then that you made collective bargaining such a centerpiece of your so-called reform efforts after you were sworn in.
No, and I'd say no, because for 8 years as county executive, I not only talked about it, I actually brought it up. I did what was called a reality tour, where I talked about the challenges that we were unsustainable and that collective bargaining was driving that.
Another representative from Tennessee asked the governor about the requirement for states to have balanced budgets.
Do you believe that these constitutional requirements give you additional support and leverage you need to make the difficult decisions that need to be made to get your fiscal spending under control?
Yes, and I think both of us as governors talk about the fact that as governors, even regardless of party, for us to succeed and to have states that grow the economy, we have to have a balanced budget. Whether there's a constitutional requirement, a legal requirement, or otherwise, I think the states that are going to succeed, regardless of who the governors, are the states that take their fiscal challenges head on.
And while the governor said people should not be surprised by his changes to collective bargaining, he said the level of national attention Wisconsin received earlier this year did surprise him.